My name is Barry Hammer, and I have recently published a book. This is the book here. It's called Psychological Healing Through Creative Self-Understanding and Self-Transformation. Once again, Psychological Healing Through Creative Self-Understanding and Self-Transformation. The primary author of this book is my late father, Dr. Max Hammer, and I'm also a secondary author, and another secondary author is Dr. Alan C. Butler. Now, I'd like to read some samples from the book so you can see how this book can help you to resolve emotional pain and inner conflict and achieve a greater sense of inner peace, happiness, spiritual awareness, and creative functioning, creative insight. So I'm going to read a summary of Chapter 1 so you can see what this book has to offer in terms of how to develop a true self-understanding and how that can liberate you from inner conflict and emotional pain. Yes, so the title of the first chapter is similar to the title of the book. It says the process of psychological the process of psychological self-healing and self-transformation through creative self-understanding. Ceasing to identify with psychosocial masks such as predetermined self-definitions, idealized self-images, positive and negative value judgments, or approved and disapproved self-evaluations, and predetermined social roles enables us to liberate our energies from psychological self-confinement, and also enables us to gain liberating transformational insight into the actual experiential truth of ourselves, as well as resolve painful psychological inner conflicts rooted in rejecting our actual experiential states in favor of a presumption of what we believe we should be. Self-discovery of our actual experiential realities and non-judgmental, unconditional acceptance of them eventually leads to inner peace, arising from resolution of psychological inner conflict, as well as enabling us to feel more joyfully alive and fulfilled by liberating our energy from confinement in preconceived or predetermined self-interpretations. The only effective way to resolve psychological pain is to let yourself experience it fully consciously, whereas escaping from psychological pain, such as by superimposing more positive self-definitions and pleasant experiential states, actually preserves the psychological pain, often at a subconscious level of the psyche. We must let our painful feelings spontaneously speak for themselves to conclusion, rather than controlling, censoring, and speaking for them with preconceived conceptual interpretations. The state of consciousness in non-duality with our actual feelings and experiential states is the only true therapeutic and transformational growth-producing state of awareness because it is the only conflict-free state of awareness. However, identifying with our painful feelings does not necessarily mean identifying with them, however, unifying with our painful feelings does not necessarily mean identifying with them, agreeing with them, siding with them, justifying them, or acting upon them. Consciousness in non-duality with and non-judgmental unconditional acceptance of our actual feelings and experiential states is in a state of being or natural indivisible wholeness. However, when consciousness seeks to validate, defend, enhance, or aggrandize its egocentric self-definitions, then it is in a state of becoming, or presumed deficiency and compensatory desire, seeking to become more than what we believe we already are. The attempt to deny and reject awareness of our actual experience by trying to become or validate some kind of ideal self-image or presumptive self-definition that we presume that we better or more acceptable to ourselves puts us into a process of self-division and inner conflict, which perpetuates and exacerbates psychological pain. So there's a difference between controlled self-understanding, where we tell ourselves who we want to believe about ourselves, about our feelings and our motives, versus actually observing them with an unbiased, uncontrolled awareness. The lack of a predetermined interpretation enables insight to come spontaneously from any source. Any aspect of our being is more whole because we're not divided from the energy in our feelings. We're unified with the energy in our feelings, and that self-unification is healing. It undoes the self-division that is a source of psychological pain. And our true self-understanding is experiential. It's directly observed. It's not theoretical or intellectual. Thank you very much. If you're interested in the book, once again, the title is Psychological Healing, Psychological Healing Through Creative Self-Understanding and Self-Transformation. The primary author is my late father, Dr. Max Hammer, and a secondary author is Dr. Alan Butler, and myself, Dr. Barry Hammer. The book's going to be ordered through Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or our author website, http://sbpra.com/Max Hammer. If you're interested in the books, I highly recommend them. Thank you very much.